Hey guys, wow, I can't believe it has been so long since we posted a video. It's been a crazy summer. All of us have been busy doing lots of exciting things. I hope everyone has had a wonderful start to the school year if you're in school. If you have kids who are in school, I hope they've had a wonderful start to the year. So this week we thought, since it's kind of still near the beginning of school, that we would do a topic about overcoming the challenges of or hardships of school and what some of those are, like having to use the bathroom, stomach issues, being embarrassed about having to use the bathroom, taking enzymes at school, maybe if you're in college or if you have to do a second or third treatment during the day while you're at school. How do you handle those things?
I got cystic fibrosis. See, I've got cystic fibrosis.
So I thought I'd focus on a couple of these more specifically, related to my experience with school, and starting with just missing school because I was always sick, or having severe stomach aches and not wanting to go to school because I'd be embarrassed, or being in a hospital more specifically, getting sick or missing school with colds, etc. So for me, missing school was probably one of the hardest issues, was just being able then to catch up with homework. Thankfully, all of my teachers knew at school, and in a couple of situations where I had missed so much school that I fell behind, I had teachers that were willing to work with me. For instance, one time in high school, I missed about 2 weeks of school because I got pneumonia and just couldn't. I was so sick I couldn't get to school. When I came back to school after that, I was completely underwater. With all of my classes, having trouble to make up the work, even though I'd had some of the work sent home to me while I was sick. When I got back, I'd still missed so much that it was difficult to catch up. Fortunately, I was able to work with my advisor at the time and my other teachers, and they were able to work out a compromise where I was able to let one of my classes go for the rest of the year and not finish the requirement for that class, so that then I could focus on all the other ones and make those up. That was a very fortunate experience of mine, and I had really incredible teachers and an advisor who really helped me through that situation, because I don't know if I would have been able to finish the year successfully with how far I had fallen behind. As far as being embarrassed about, because we all know of our stomach issues and how special the bathrooms are to us, and especially being in middle school or high school, how embarrassing that can be. I always sort of found some tricks. When I was younger, we would talk to the school nurse, and if I needed to use the bathroom, I'd be allowed to go talk to the school nurse and use the one near the nurse's office. As I got older, into high school and those kinds of things, I would find sort of that off the beaten path bathroom, the one that maybe wasn't used so frequently, and then use those and just sort of find the times when maybe they weren't as traveled or worn. But again, it's not easy, it's tricky. In college, I would find the one that was like off in the corner of a remote building that nobody was ever in. It wasn't frequented very often, so I didn't have to worry about that. Or if somebody saw me there, I wasn't a normal place that I'd be there, so maybe you didn't put two and two together. But who knows? The other issue that I had sort of going into college, and I know this is sort of covering all those years of school, was when I went as a freshman and having a roommate, is how was I going to tell my roommate about my stuff and having to do my treatments in the dorm rooms. And so what I ended up doing to sort of get around that my first year, was before I went to school, I talked to the health center and worked it out with the health center that I was allowed to keep my medicine in their fridge in the health center. And then they had a room that wasn't used as often for seeing students who were sick. And I was allowed to keep my breathing machines in that room. And when I needed to go do my treatments during the day, in the morning or the evening, I just walked in, I waved to the person at the counter who knew who I was, and I was allowed just to walk straight into the back area and then do my treatments and everything, and then I would just leave. I didn't have to wait to sign in or get called in or anything like that. So that took a lot of that sort of angst and anxiety out of like having to explain to somebody why I'm there, or occasionally I'd run into a friend there and they'd be like, "What are you doing here?" And then you'd sort of give them the high level overview, and then you'd talk about it more later. But those were some of the ways that I dealt with some of those issues with school. The bathroom's probably the toughest one. Enzymes nowadays, you can keep them in your pocket and just sort of self-administer them. You can talk to the school and know that the school, and get permission from the school to self-administer your enzymes. We used to keep them with the nurse, and I'd go and take them at the nurse's office. So I'd be interested to see, sort of what other hardships you deal with at school and what those are and how you've dealt with them. So, as we get back into the swing of this thing after a couple months of being off, let's really try to stoke up the conversation some more and interact with each other. Reach out to me, let me know how you're doing. And I look forward to getting back in the swing of this thing with you guys. So with that, have a wonderful evening. Continue to have a great year. And I can't wait to talk to you guys again soon. All right, take care.
I got cystic fibrosis. See, I've got cystic fibrosis.